people know who you are already, but just in case.
Oh, some people don't know who I am. I'm James Gunn, and I am the writer of the game Lollipop Chainsaw, and I've done a bunch of other stuff too.
Like Slither, and I believe a bunch of other...
Did a movie called Slither that I wrote and directed. Wrote and directed a movie called Super. I had a web series called PG Porn, which a lot of people know. I wrote Dawn of the Dead.
And how did you get reached by the game makers exactly, or did you come with the concept and say that?
No, I did not come up with the concept. Suda and Warner Brothers contacted me about 2 years ago. They said, we have this idea for a game. They brought me into the secret little room where I had to sign a bunch of non-disclosure agreements to see what was going on, and I watched some test footage of a character that was to become Juliet Starling, high school cheerleader, using a chainsaw to cut up zombies, and as she cut them up, a mixture of gore and rainbows and little pink hearts came out of them. And I thought, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was aesthetically awesome, and I will do anything I can to be a part of this.
So what did it involve, and was it hard dealing with, because they're Japanese-based, right, correct? Suda 51?
It was, it was a challenge, I would say. They were very great people and easy to work with. Suda's a genius, and I love him. We are so similar, and the two of us never had any conflicts. But dealing with the Japanese West mix of like taking people keep walking in here. Anyway, dealing with the mix of, we would have like 3 guys sitting around a conference table in Los Angeles, and then we'd have like 8 Japanese guys sitting around a conference table in Japan, and we'd have to have these video conferences with them, trying to figure out all the little intricacies of the plot and what we could do, with the gameplay, and what we could do with the technology. And and Japanese people don't speak English for the most part, and English people don't speak Japanese, or American people. And so that was quite a challenge, but also pretty cool at the same time.
Do you think Suda and the game company really understands like how America is, or do you think they just have a pop culture vision of it? Because have you played No More Heroes, or his other versions of how he sees America?
Well, I think that's one of the unique things about Lollipop Chainsaw. Lollipop Chainsaw is, is America seen through Japanese eyes, then back through American eyes again, mine, then back through Japanese eyes, and back through American eyes, and we have this very unusual bit of entertainment that truly is a mix of the East and the West. Japanese storytelling is very different. It's very poetic. They don't care as much about plot. One of the reasons I came in the first place was to make the game more Western, frankly. Have a more Western sense of humor, have a more Western idea of plot, and so we kind of mixed, and hopefully what we have in Lollipop Chainsaw is the best of both the East and the West. Some things very Western, some things very Eastern, and I think the game is very unique because of that.
So there's a linear story, because I think Japanese games suffer from having unlinear stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more linear than your normal Japanese game,
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's a love story. It's a story between Nick and Juliet. It is. That's what it is. People laugh. It's a love story about Juliet and her disembodied head of a boyfriend, Nick. And he has to learn to, live without a body, without a penis, and she needs to learn to treat him as something more than an accessory, because that's what she thinks he is to begin with.
Did you come up with that concept, or was that Suda's? Like, who came up with being headless and still alive?
That was Suda's, yes. Okay. Yes. That was already there, the headless dude.
And what would you say?
But there was no reason for it, so that we had to make up. That we had to make up as we go along.
And just before you go, what's your favorite part of gameplay? Like going in there, is there a special? I haven't played it yet, but is there something you really like? Or?
Well, what I really like about the gameplay is that there's a lot of variety within the game itself. So it is a hack and slash game. There's a lot of fighting in the game, but then within it, there's a level in which you have all these all of a sudden they go into like these 80s style side-scrolling games, and there's this giant Pac-Man type creature that's chasing them around, and there's all these different little games, a little baseball game, a little basketball game within the game itself, and all those that variety of gameplay within this one fun game is really one of the things that keeps it alive for me in terms of the playability of it.
No, Clyde. See,